Hi, I'm Ryan, and today we're going to look at Google's Jamboard. Google's Jamboard is their online whiteboard software to be used with, they have a hardware Jamboard, which is this big interactive whiteboard that can do everything that if you've used a smartboard, it can do. Well, they released the software so you can use it even if you don't have the Jamboard hardware. And the Jamboard hardware is several $1,000s, so I don't know who buys it, but I'm sure somebody does. Today we're going to look at the software side of it. Google Jamboard is totally online based, web based, doesn't require you to install any software on your computer, although they do have an Android and an iPhone app that you can do some more features. You can look at the web based version today. And the web-based version is available on the web at jamboard.google.com. So you go to jamboard.google.com and you'll see any boards that you've had created. I've got one that I was playing around with apparently back in November, but other than that, in this account, I haven't done much. So we're going to look at what the Jamboard is and what you can do with it, and then we'll talk about how you can integrate that into what you're doing in your classroom. To get started with a Jamboard, there's a plus down here. Well, new Jam. And I keep on thinking of Jam Orthodontics and what's his first name? Parks and Rec. If you watch Parks and Rec, what is his first name? Okay, I looked up. It's Jeremy Jam. I should have known that. And all those Parks and Rec fans out there are just yelling at me. All three of you. I don't know. It's a great show. I really like it. Anyway, I digress. Back to the Jamboard. So we started up. And a lot of the features are just the same as if you use Google Docs. You can name it by clicking up there. My great ham. There are ways, here's how you can zoom. I mean, some of these make sense. Set background. Cool thing, well, we'll look at that in a second. And this will clear all your drawings. So basically, you open it up, you can select a pen, and you can start writing. Now, if you hold down on this, you can select different markers. There's a highlighter. Kind of looks weird. Paintbrush. And you can change the colors. So that's how everything that you can. I like a little thicker one, so I usually use, what do they call that one? The marker. Pen, marker, highlighter, brush. I really like the marker because I like it a little bit thicker. This is the eraser, so you can erase things, and that can get annoying because you can't adjust the size of it, so it can get really annoying. Easiest way is clear frame. There we go. Next up, we have a pointer so we can select objects on the board, but that's limited when you're using the web base. See, I can't select that up there. But if I had a sticky note in there, then I can use that pointer so I can move that sticky note around. I can resize the sticky note. I can rotate it. I edit, duplicate, delete. In the order, if there's multiple sticky notes, we could put it up there. I just wish I could grab that, but you can't. You can insert pictures. So if I was talking about a volcano, I could open up the picture of the volcano, and then I could actually highlight, and the text box comes in handy when you want to. And then you can click and drag and resize that all you want. There's some limited tools that you can do with the text box. You can change the size, you can change the color, and you can change the alignment. We also have shapes. My favorite shape, the rounded corner box, the rounded rectangle, I mean. But you don't have as many shapes as you do with Google Slides. So the drawing it's more limited than Google Slides. And finally, we have a laser pointer so you can highlight things on there and it goes away when you're done. So that's what all of these tools are. The one I didn't show you yet is the set background. this lets you pick different backgrounds. So the blue lines, that's really hard to write if you don't have a whiteboard, because look how small you have to write. That's me with the mouse. So see, now there's the bars on there, so you can kind of use them to do a graph, but it's kind of small. You can zoom in, and that makes it a lot easier. Here, let me set the background back to the lines. That makes it a lot easier to draw text, but I'm still using my mouse. So this works well if you have a tablet, iPad, or an Android tablet, or you can even use your phone and draw on the phone, so it makes it a little easier to touch. Or if you have Chromebooks that are touchscreen, you maybe have a 2-in-1 that flips around to be a tablet. Most of the Chromebooks nowadays, I think basically all of them in the last few years, can run Android apps. So instead of using Jamboard from the web, you would use the Android app on your tablet, and it gives you a lot more controls. I'm going to zoom this back out a bit so I can see the whole board in there. This open on a Jamboard, that's if you own a Jamboard. Ooh, fancy. The other item to check, look at that say, is share. Jamboards are collaborative. You can share this board with all of your students, and they can write things on it live, just as same as if you were doing it. So I'm just going to, for this to make it easy, I'm just going to share it anyone with the link. So just like if you're sharing a Google Slides or Google Docs, I'm sharing the exact same. So I'm going to share this to anybody with the link. And when I shared that, I forgot to share this, so anybody has editor access. Okay, now it's shared to anybody with the link and editor access. I would never do this with something I'm working on in my class because I just don't want randos on the internet in there. But for this, I'm going to do it that way. If I go to my Johnny character, go to that link, and that link will be pushed out through Google Classroom, through email. I get the indication that Johnny Knight joined, and as Johnny over here, I can start writing, and it shows up for everybody. So this could get very chaotic if you have a class of 25, especially if you have a class of 25 middle schoolers. So maybe you don't want to give them all edit access, but only a couple at a time. I'll change Johnny back to viewer only. And now in a second, he'll stop and he won't be able to edit. But I can give him edit access individually. So you might want to do that depending on your class, depending on how they are. Only let certain people edit while everybody else can watch. But it's really nice because they can see everything that's on the board, on the projector, right on their screen in front of you. This background can also be images, so you can create an activity in Google Slides, save it as a graphic, import that into the background. And the nice piece about a background, here we're going to do that. Go back and watch my graphic organizers video, and you'll see what these are from. But I'm going to take that one and download it as a PNG. Now I'm going to set the background. Now that organizer is on the background, they can't change it. And even if they hit clear frame, I hit it several times, it doesn't change it because once it's on the background, it's set. So now the students can write what they know, or they can literally write what they know. If they have touchscreen Chromebooks, or if they have a tablet. I can't draw with my mouse that well. But all I did was created what I wanted them to fill in in Google Slides, downloaded that as a picture, which just downloads the current slide, and then I set that as the background. Jams can also be assigned in Google Classroom. So you can add it right from your Google Drive, migrate Jam, and make a copy for each student. So you could use this in addition to a Google Slides that you might be using, or a Google document. And I'm going to go in as Johnny and spell classroom correctly. This is why you use bookmarks. So here I am as Johnny, and I get my Google Jamboard with my name on it, and now I can fill that in. Now, it's got those lines because I was writing on the other one. So it works about the same way as you would use Google Slides. Just these drawing tools, if you have touchscreen machines and you want students to use them more, these drawing tools work a lot better than anything in Google Slides. But you can make a drag and drop assignment by putting in if you're doing something on money, so you can assign this. They'll make a copy for each one, and then the directions you could say drag it over, or however you want to do that drag and drop activity. So it's another way of doing drag and drop activities that aren't in Google Slides, but the big advantage is you can write. Finally, under more actions, just you can see things that these would usually be underneath the file menu in a regular Google app, but I can rename it, but I don't know why you can do that when you just click on, I don't know why that's over there. Download it as a PDF, which makes it nice to share with people, because that'll download all the sheets, not just the current one, which is when you do the save frame as image, it'll only save that current frame. So you can download it all three. We can delete it, we can make a copy, get help. See, these are all standard things. So that's your introduction to Google Jamboard. I could see a lot of use cases for this where Google Slides doesn't work, especially if you're collaborating and you have touch devices that you want to draw on, because drawing on Google Slides just doesn't work that well. It's also great for drag and drop activities. Possibilities are endless, and they keep on adding new things. You might feel a little bit limited when you're just using the web version. So if you have access to a touchscreen Chromebook or your iPhone or an Android tablet, check out Jamboard on those. And you can use them at the same time. You can bring up Jamboard, if your computer's hooked up to the projector, you can bring up the web-based version of Jamboard on your computer hooked to the projector, but then walk around with your tablet, phone, and draw and interact with it from anywhere because you shared it. Well, you don't even need to share it in that space because you're logged in with the same account. So try those out. You might learn something new. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button at the bottom. And also visit my website over at educate.me. Stay classy.